I would like to welcome you to our annual Village of Lynwood Town Hall meeting. And we want to thank Mayor Curry, our village clerk, and the trustees and entire village administration. I'm Brian Hurt. I'm going to be your moderator on tonight. I'm so happy, excited, elated, and delighted to be here on today so we can discuss where Lynwood has been, where we are, and where we're going. And I do realize that the biggest room in any place is the room for improvement. And since I've been here last year to this year, I've seen so many improvements in the village of Lynwood. I would like to give it up for the mayor and her staff for the many improvements we've seen in the village of Lynwood. So as we begin on tonight, I want to introduce to you a pillar in our community. He's been pastoring here over 20 years. He's been a source of hope and strength in our community. Let's give it up for Pastor Philip France, Living Grace Church.
Good evening, everyone. We love to give honor to God, so could we stand? Would that be all right? Normally when I pray, I always give honor to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, but I also want to respect any others in their religious persuasion. But I always like to say I'm unapologetically black and unashamedly Christian. And so I hope you can honor that as I pray. Father, in Jesus' name, the name that's above every name, we know that unless you builded the house, all of our labor is in vain. And so unless you watch the city of Lynwood, our efforts would be futile. And so we thank you, oh God, that you've not only covered this great mayor, but you continue to prosper this great mayor. And oh God, we know that she cannot be prosperous unless there are others that are holding up her hands. This cadre of leaders that surround her, oh God, we thank you for their faithfulness. We thank you for their excellence. And we thank you for the community that also is supportive, because we all are working together for one purpose, and to see the village of Lynwood to be the greatest village in the United States of America. And so, Father, guide each and every presenter. Give them clarity of thought. Give them accuracy of speech, so that they will be able to recall all the things that are necessary, that are evident in this prosperous village under this leadership. We thank you for favor. We thank you for honor. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor France, for that powerful prayer. Next, I want to bring up my brother and my friend. He's been a voice for many in the political arena in the Chicagoland area. He's been nicknamed the spokesperson. He serves as an assistant to Mayor Daley in the 90s. He worked with Cook County Commissioner Deborah Sims. He worked with entertainers and pro athletes, professional athletes, but he's been a pillar in the community and in the Southland area. So let's give it up for our friend and brother, Mr. Sean Howard.
Thank you, Brian. I didn't know who you were talking about at first. I want to thank all of you for taking time out of your busy schedules to be here today. Mayor Curry, the village board, and my fellow administrators. One thing that I really love about Lynwood is the camaraderie between the administration and the elected officials, on down to just the staff, just regular paraprofessionals who come to work every day to work hard for the community. My job has been over this last year to ensure messaging it gets out, but also put a spotlight on the administration. Even today, ironically, we being here today, there's a front page story about the mayor and the camaraderie with the village board. in that this particular town in Matteson seems to be on the go, on the rise. A lot of progress, things are moving. But it's also, once again, the cohesiveness of the Village Board of Trustees and the village clerk who works alongside with the mayor. So 13 months ago, my first job was to sit the mayor down via Zoom with the beat writer for the Chicago Tribune. And from that, we've had the annexation stories where we annexed some unincorporated areas of Cook County. We've also dealt with disaster relief funding that we put through the Tribune. But I love community newspapers because when you go into the supermarket, you know, it's not always the Tribune and the Sun-Times for free. It's these papers that keep communities thriving. The South Suburban News, this particular publication, is the #1 physically circulated publication in Southern Cook County, and we have a standing, what I would call a standing practice of being in here, you know, 2 or 3 times a month, and it gives you, the residents, the opportunity to know what's going on in the community. But when I write press releases and I write media advisories, and I think the trustees would echo in this, when I put the news out there, I'll always talk about not just the mayor, but the cohesiveness and camaraderie and teamwork of the village board. And that's very important because Mayor Curry has made it very known to me that she's not on this island alone. She has a great team around her. So in the forthcoming months, but also television, I know the Sun-Times and Trib are like paperback books now. You know, you don't get a lot out of there. You may get more coupons than stories nowadays. That's why the importance of community newspapers are important. We also have a standing presence in the Citizen newspaper and the Crusader newspaper where we highlighted and profile the progress. There's a lot of business that have come to Lynwood, and we talk about that in these stories so people can know that we're a destination point for the future. And I'm just honored, grateful, and blessed to be part of a great team. As you know, we've had a new fire chief and police chief. We put those messaging out as well. They're doing a great job. And I can tell you, assignment editors call me all the time because sometimes you get distractors who will call newsrooms and put out things that are false. So a lot of times we're on the phone just knocking down false stories. You know, they're just people who don't have good intentions. So our job is to ensure over the next 12 months that we put a profile on every trustee and a profile on the clerk as well to ensure that you know them from a different perspective, just not sitting in the boardroom passing all types of important pieces of legislation, but you know their family life, you know their hobbies, and you know the things that they really enjoy doing in life. So whatever it is as you, as residents, when you have people in the community that are doing great things, don't hesitate to call Village Hall. Let us know. If you feel it's newsworthy and it should be in these publications, please, that's our job to continue to put out positive things about our community and dispel those other issues that don't make sense and that are false. So with that, I just want to applaud my fellow administrators, the mayor, the Village Board of Trustees, and the clerk. I'm just happy to be here, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Howell. We appreciate you and your expertise and all you're going to bring to the village of Lynwood. So how is this going to work tonight? We're going to have a PowerPoint presentation, and then each person is going to present. So you probably won't see me again to the end. Well, I may get up 1 or 2 more times. But so everybody's going to present. So let's have your undivided attention. Are we going to have a question and answer period? Or? At the end, we're going to have a question and answer period. So if you have any questions about anything that you see, please write it down, and we'll be sure to answer to the best of our ability. Okay? So first up, we have our Water Administrator Assistant, Ms. Crystal Johnson. Let's give it up for Ms. Johnson.
Yeah, well. Good evening, everyone. Give me a second. Our first speaker is not here, so I have to click past his slides. Sing a song? I don't sound like you, Joyce. Sing a song, right. All right, again, my name is Crystal Johnson. I'm an administrative assistant with the Village of Lynwood. I work in the water department, the finance department. I work everywhere. And Michelle Blackman, who is over at the welcome table, she is the UB clerk, the utility billing clerk for the water department. And now I just want to go over a few of our successes. As many of you know, we migrated to a bi-monthly billing. Some like it, some don't. And so basically, we saved the village $9,000 by doing that. We have an outside vendor who does the billing for the village. And so by doing bi-monthly, we saved $9,000. But do remember, we told lots of people that if you want to pay your bill every month, you don't have a bill on the non-billing months, you are welcome to come in and you decide how much you want to pay. So that's something, I'm a Lynwood resident, so it makes me feel better to go in and pay on a non-billing month payment. And so when I get my bill, it looks smaller. It's probably all mental, but it works for me. And so just remember our billing months. So a lot of people have a hard time trying to decide or remember what the billing months are. Just remember the billing months are the odd months. So January is month 1, March is month 3, May is the next odd month. And so if you remember that way, you won't have a difficult time trying to remember when we do get a bill. Some of our challenges, they have gotten better. We may find that there are some accounts that we have to do an estimate read. Basically what the water crew do is they ride past our homes and it reads our meters. And so they will get errors for some of them where they don't get a radio read. So we have been sending out letters asking people to allow the crew to come in and check their meters. It doesn't cost you anything, and a lot of times it fixes the problem. Some of the things that I want you guys to remember: if you get a high read, and we have been getting lots of high reads, you need to call us immediately. The water has gone through your meter, and unfortunately, we're gonna have to pay for it. And so we have the water staff come out, we make an appointment, they come out, they check your toilets, and the biggest offender are the toilets. And people say, well, my toilet isn't running. And when they get in there, it's running. And so I decided, I was like, well, let me go home and check mine. And so one is new, one is 30 years old, as long as I've been at that home. And I immediately told my husband, we need to fix this, because ours is running too. So you're losing all of that water, and the fact that it goes through your meter, you are responsible for paying for it. So if you get your bill, examine those bills, because a lot of people don't look at their bills. You see something out of the ordinary, you need to make sure you contact the village, and we will have someone come out to take a look at your meter and see if it's your meter, or if it's your toilets or sprinkler systems. It could be a few different things, your outside spigot. So give us a call. Do remember that CEDAR is still assisting. So if you qualify, they will assist you with paying for your water bill. Some accounts we get a $300 payment for a particular account. They also assist with your utilities, your light bill, your gas bill. So it's a very easy process if you qualify. It is income-based, but you can get assistance from them. You can apply online. I have flyers over there that you can take with you to get more information about it. Some of our upcoming changes, it has been painful. I live out here too. So the increase with the water, we've been feeling it too. So January the 24th, January 1 of 2024, that's going to be the last increase. The mayor decided that she didn't want to hit you all at once, so we kind of staggered the increases. And so on January 1, the effective January 1, 1020 will be the per thousand that you pay per thousand. And that'll be the last increase that we will experience with this increase. So it wasn't us. It was Hammond increased Lansing, which pushes our water to us. They increased the water, so of course we had to pass it on to the residents. And one last thing, what we're going to start doing, because we know the bills normally get to you by the end of the month that you're going to be, the end of the month before you get your bill. We're going to start processing the bills a week earlier, just to allow you a little bit more time, because we know we are getting 2-month bills, and they are, kind of high because it's 2 months of service. So we're going to try it out. Hopefully it works well. We'll be doing it for the January bill, so hopefully it works well, and that's something we can continue on. If you have any questions, here is the email information for myself and Michelle. Do give us a call, and hopefully we can assist you with whatever your questions are. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm sorry. I got to click. These are our email addresses. Can't see it? I'll give it to you later. Okay? All right. Okay, so next up. And I'm gonna click for you guys because this is kind of awkward.
Good job, thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Good, my name is David Lilly. I serve as your trustee in Lynwood, and my capacity with the board is as a liaison between the zoning and planning board and our administrative board. The job of that planning and zoning board is that when someone inquires about zoning for residential or commercial land use, it comes before that board. That board then has a meeting to determine how that land use can both benefit Lynwood and benefit the community. Once they've come to a decision, that decision is then segued to the village board for the next meeting to vote on. And that's how our businesses come into Lynwood or don't come into Lynwood if it's not deemed feasible. That board has 7 community residents on it. They serve on a voluntary basis. And as a result of that voluntary basis, they have a dedication to the community and they meet when those applications come in. They flow through the building department. That building department, which I'm going to introduce, is directed by Director Joyce Hurley, and the newest member of our building team, Brian Thigpen, and I'd like him to come forward now. Thank you.
Good evening. Good. As introduced, I am Brian Thigpen. I am the newest addition to the building department. I am the village inspector. So we have had several. Can I take this off?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. Don't break it.
Hey, I got it. That way I can see what's going on here. There we go.
There's a lot going on.
We have had several department successes. We've shortened the time frame for pre-inspections, and what the pre-inspections are. Let's say you're interested in getting a new fence or a deck placed up. We do have to come out and make sure you're within your land. So we do request a copy of your platted survey. We also come out and, or talk to you on the phone just to make sure you're familiar with what we're going to do, what the requirements are for that particular permit that you're trying to get from us. We've cut down on contractor fraud and unsatisfactory work by having contractor registration where we verify that they are licensed and bonded just in case something happens. We are able to assist with that. We've assisted with more effective zoning and zoning map updates within the village. We've added a new, we added a new contracted health inspector that's actually contracted with the Cook County Health Department, so we've added her to the roster, and she's able to come out. She's in the process of completing all the annual inspections, and if you all have complaints against a business or any type of service that deals with food and packaged goods, you can give us a call, and we will have her dispatched out to you. We've added an iCloud system with the iPads for inspection. So instead of us having to keep a paper trail of 4 to 5 different types of forms for certain inspections, whether it was a pre-inspection, sale inspection, commercial inspection, as well as the fire department with their fire inspections, and coming soon will be the police department with the crime-free housing program. All of that will be on a central database for all the village employees to access, as well as the officers on the street to access quickly to better assist all the residents. Department challenges. Balancing the daily run list of activities against complaint and emergency responses. That's still one of our challenges. We do, with the town being small, we still do receive a great amount of complaints, whether it's for, in the summertime, grass, debris left out, branches being placed at the curb not bundled, and contractors cutting branches down. The scheduling of 4-unit rental inspections during the busy summer season, that has definitely been a challenge, but we are in the process within the next week or so, trying to get everybody scheduled before the holidays. And the IDOT permit issuance. So with IDOT, that's the Illinois Department of Transportation. They are the major holdup for some of our new construction, some of the new businesses that are coming. A permit has to be obtained for them for anything that's going to happen within their, what they like to call their parkway, their roadway. As I experienced this morning, IDOT also has a problem with putting salt down as well in a timely manner. Illegal tenants. An illegal tenant, which is separate from a squatter, you become an illegal tenant if your landlord rents the property out and it has not been properly inspected to make sure it's approved for occupancy. That's something that we're constantly catching up with, as well as squatters. We've had a squatter situation yesterday. If you are a landlord and you do not frequent your property, maybe ask a neighbor to assist you with that. That would definitely cut down on the amount of complaints that come in. It also allows our police department to continue to protect our streets. Exaggerated complaints. That's one that we often get all the time. We get complaints saying, oh, my neighbor has 16 trees and they're falling on my house. Their grass is 12 feet tall. We get there, the grass might be 9 inches tall and it might be 1 or 2 tree branches. They're all valid complaints, but sometimes they're just exaggerated, and we tend to take the ones that might be a public health nuisance a little bit more seriously, but we don't like the fact that if we get there and it wasn't a major complaint, but we do have that problem that happens. Things to remember. Permits are required for most of the work being done on your house. If you are unsure, please get clarity from the building department. All contractors are to be registered with the village, including landscapers. Compliance inspections are to verify the livability and the code compliance of a home or commercial space, not the quality of the work. Is it up to code is our main focus. Property upkeep during summer months is required, which involves weeds, grass upkeep, proper painting, make sure your gutters and things are in compliance as well. Cars that are considered junk vehicles, those are against the ordinance as well. Inspections are required yearly or a change of occupancy for rental properties. So every year, beginning in April, you must have your rental property inspected. Or if someone moves in, let's say they move in November, they move back out in February, it hasn't been a year, you must get the property re-inspected just so we can make sure nothing is damaged or to cause health hazard to the family that's moving in behind it. I'm sorry, I was gonna keep going.
You might as well just keep on going.
Oh, no, you got it, Joyce.
We just want to highlight some upcoming department changes, things that we hope to accomplish here in the future. We want to create a tab on our website that is dedicated simply to the building department. And there you can have all your forms that people tend to be looking for. Your common project requirements, say for example, if you're doing a concrete pad, you need to know how deep it needs to be, how much aggregate, if you need rebar, and so forth and so on. Fences, post hole, the depth, and all of those kinds of things. We want to create a link straight to the ordinance. Our ordinances are listed in municode.com under Lynwood, but we want to have a link, or maybe a set of links even as I think about it, to send you to specific things, or at least the most common questions people have within the community. We can definitely easily identify those. And then RPZ fees and requirements for those things, which are sprinkler systems, underground, as well as in commercial property. Payment for permits, we are almost there. It's almost live, it's kind of live, but I haven't really been sending people to the website as of yet because it's making more work for another department. And so until I can figure out how I can handle that and it doesn't make work for another department, I don't want to send a bunch of people to that link. But that will be a link that will be available soon. So you can pay for your permits online and then you can just come in and just pick them up. You can just come to my window and pick them up. And lastly, a designated email. So that when you're sending permit requests or contractor registrations to me, that you're sending them to another email that's dedicated just for that. I get emails for zoning, I get emails from businesses, I get emails from more real estate, FOIAs, I get a lot of emails. And so lately, if I take a vacation or am out for a few days, sometimes permits are getting buried within the other things. So I want to make sure that there's a dedicated email for that. And lastly, I just want to reiterate on the contractor, I think this is important to know, that all your contractors have to be registered with the village, just so we can verify that they're real people. And if you have a red flag on a contractor that you have started having a conversation, please call us and let us help you verify their credentials. Because we've had more than one situation where someone has had a red flag with a contractor but has moved forward and given the money, and then we can't register that contractor for a sundry of reasons. They don't have insurance, we can't verify their existence, and so that becomes a challenge. And so hopefully this has been helpful for you. If you have any questions for us, our number is 708-758-6101, and hit option 4 and you'll get the building department. And up next is Public Works, Dunlap. Oh, Trustee Dunlap. I'm gonna leave it off the stand because I didn't know. You're welcome.
Good evening, everybody. I am Trustee Cheryl Dunlap. Thank you all for coming out. I oversee the Public Works Department. So right now, I am going to turn it over to our new superintendents, Superintendents Sam and Superintendent Dan. So good evening, and thank you very much for coming out.
Good evening, everybody. I am the Water Department Superintendent. Just a little bit about myself. I've been in the industry for about 15 years now. Very different, a variety of positions, from a foreman to supervisor to now superintendent. I do have my water license. I'm one of 3 guys in the town of Lynwood that have the water license, which I've had it for over a decade now, just along with some of the other guys I've had it for 15 years. And the one that has the most has it for about 20 years now. So our water department is very knowledgeable of what's going on and any of the regulations that are coming out through the EPA. And also, I'm currently on the board for the Waterworks, the South Suburban Waterworks Association. So that's a big help for us. If we hear anything about EPA regulations coming out, we're kind of the first ones to hear about it. We kind of get some more of the knowledge so we can spread to other communities as well. Some of the responsibilities of the water department. A lot of people just say, well, they just come around and they just drive by and read meters. But there's more to that. We actually repair water main breaks, especially nowadays with the cold coming. This is more the season where we do have some water main breaks, not a lot. And also we do repairs to sewers as they break. Another thing that we do also include into our water department is we monitor our water distribution system 24/7 through our SCADA system. The SCADA system is pretty much the brains of the operation of the whole distribution system. It tells us if there's a water main break, if we're losing water through one of our towers, our reservoirs. It kind of gives an idea of water loss as far as chlorine usage. We also do the monthly water samples. We do twice a month, the first and second week of each month, which we already have 7 different locations that we go out and we send it to the EPA. We also install meters and we repair meters. When we go into some of these residents' homes, it's leaking. 9 times out of 10, if your water meter is leaking, it's because, or it busted, it's because you don't have enough heat in your guys' storage area, crawl space. So one thing I do recommend is that you please have some type of heat next to your water meter. It's gonna help you guys from any leakage or any type of damage, further damage than just a leak. We also do check leaks, like Crystal was saying. If you guys make an appointment with us, I'll send my guys out. We'll check the toilets. 9 times out of 10, it's a toilet that's making your bill high. But also we can check the sprinkler systems. We can check the water, hot water tanks. We're here to help. We're not here to hurt nobody or make your bill go higher than what it is, because we know the rates are going up. But that's one of the other things that we do. The one thing that I did want to kind of talk into more is the water system, sewer system, the storm system. As you know, around here, there's a lot of surrounding towns that have that flood problem when it rains a lot. The reason being is because they have combination pipes. Combination pipes is when the sanitary that comes out of your house goes into the same pipe that the stormwater does. Fortunately for us, we don't have that situation. We have two different pipes. It's not a combination system. You have your storm pipes and your sanitary pipes. Thankfully, we have that. We're kind of more of a newer town, in a sense, where we were not going to have that situation. And we always keep an eye on our levels with our SCADA system that kind of helps us kind of be proactive about any possible flooding. We do have our water distribution system, which consists of one pump station. We have one lift station. The lift station is where all the storm water and sanitary water goes to. That's the brain. From there, we distribute it out of the town, and it goes into the MWRD. And then we do have two water towers as well that I'm sure you guys seen around town. And then, so then we spoke about the storm and sanitary separation of pipes. Some of the success that we have had is we've kept our water main breaks to a minimum. A lot of other towns, they'll probably be in the hundreds. So typically for us, we're about 10 to 15 water main breaks per week, or per year, should I say. You don't need that per week, no. No. We also are currently up with the EPA on of our water reports. It's been a struggle to get back into the groove of things, especially with all the reports that regulations that the EPA is asking for. But that's one of our other successes. We've been able to get back to our consumer confidence report. That's another one that we send out, that we also have flyers in the lobby that speak about all of our levels that we have in town, from our lead, which we don't have, to the chlorine, to magnesium, any other chemicals that you may think are in there. It'll be all in that report. Some of the other successes that we've had is that we have had the opportunity to update our SCADA system. SCADA system, as we spoke earlier, is the brains of this operation. That lets us know what's going on within our water distribution. And then also sending our guys, our water operators, to training. There's a lot of new regulations, and I always bring up the water regulations just because there's always something new coming out, and we have to make sure that we have all the proper training to make sure that we do have all the quality of water that we distribute to the residents. Some of the challenges that we have is infrastructure. Even though we are a newer town, some of the places in town are just, the pipes are really weak, and it's time to change them out. So that's one of our biggest challenges that we have. We're trying to keep up with the new regulations because there are a lot of challenges. Luckily, we've been able to go down to Springfield to get some of the new knowledge and new up-to-date regulations, so we can keep up with that, because it is pretty difficult. Some of the other challenges that we are having is trying to replace old equipment with new equipment. It's challenging for a lot of different towns, but hopefully that's one of our good things that in the future we can take care of. And also keeping our inventory stocked. Ever since COVID started, we haven't been able to keep up with our water main clamps, water pipe, some of our meters. There's a big delay in it, and we're just trying to keep up with it and make sure that we have enough inventory for everybody, that when there is a water main break or you need a new water meter, we are there to assist you and put a new one in. The future, improving our infrastructure. Trying to get these grants to come in, give us some money so we can go ahead and start replacing some of these old infrastructure systems, and just continuing updating our distribution system, like our water towers, our reservoir. We have to continue keeping that up to date so we make sure we're not distributing any unquality water. And then finding grants as well, like I said earlier, just to make sure that we have new equipment. New equipment makes it a little bit easier on us, especially in the winter, because there is potential of water main breaks. And then just, at the end of the day, be more informative to your residents. At the end of the day, Public Works, not only just in the water, but in the street, we're here for you guys. At the end of the day, if we can help, we are here to help. If we can give you guys more literature or any type of knowledge of what's going on within the town or within the water, we're here to help. And that's our main goal at the end of the day. If you guys need to contact us, my email is sgarcia@thevillageoflynwood.net. If not, you guys can call at 708-758-6101. Thank you. Next up is my partner, Dan Lieber. Or, yeah.
Good evening, everyone. As Sam said, I am Dan Leveter. I am the superintendent of the street side of Public Works. A little bit about myself. I was actually born and raised in Lynwood. I lived here for 24 years before my parents kicked me out, finally, to get me on my own. I've been in the Public Works Department for 16 years, so almost half my life I've been working for the town of Lynwood. And at the bottom there, I took this superintendent position this April, so kind of new to it, but been a general workman, been out on the streets, like I said, for 16 years. I kind of know everything around town. In the bottom there, it says it's a working superintendent. And all it means is when you call, I'm not just sending anyone else. The person you talk to, I'm usually the one going to check. So I know exactly what you're talking about. We can be eye to eye. I could even meet you out there. We can figure it out and go through it. So some of our successes. So over the last 2 years, we've been updating our plow trucks. So traditionally, you'll see our plow trucks with the big V boxes in the back with the salt boxes. Well, per the EPA, we have to add liquid now. So we're switching all our trucks to the tailgate spreaders. This makes loading and cleaning actually more effective as well, and we can carry more salt. So we don't have to go back to the yard as much. We can stay out a little longer with adding that liquid to it. We also updated one of our fleet trucks. A couple of our plow trucks are from 1997. They're still working, they're Old Faithfuls, but we do need to update because they cost money to upkeep. So we got to add a new dump truck this year. That was fantastic. And then we did do a street resurfacing this year. I'm sure you've seen the 5 streets that got redone in town. So this is with Robinson Engineering. We're doing it. This is all grant money. We did, like I said, we did 5 streets this year. They did some curbs, some bad sidewalk squares on those picked streets. So what is the streets get picked in certain areas of town per year. So it's kind of essentially like a lottery. We don't just get like, hey, we want to do that one right now. This takes time, money, effort. So it's not an overnight thing, but we are securing funds to keep doing streets. We're going to try to get every street in town, I promise you, but it will take time. Please be patient with us. Same with the sidewalk program. We're working on a list for that. And I'm talking not just like little chip sidewalk, we're talking the big 3-inch gaps, sidewalks that are concave, this and that. Like we got a list together for that. But again, it will take some time. We're getting grant money. We're getting everything in the works to get rolling. So hopefully we can get some streets and sidewalks done around town. So our challenges, like I mentioned before. Oops, sorry. Like my partner was mentioning before about the infrastructure. So he talked more about the water and sewer. Mine's the electrical, some of the electrical stuff. I know there's some people that like fountains around town that like keep going out. That's old electric infrastructure. It's been there for 30 years. We're trying to update that. That's one of our main goals, is get all that updated so we don't have problems with the fountains anymore. And also our parking lot lights. Again, the infrastructure is from the beginning of the town. So we just need to upgrade everything, get everything back up to up to new standards, so we can brighten all the parking lot lights and everything with all new stuff. Maintaining the beautification of Lynwood. So obviously we do all the cutting. I'm sure you've seen our truck and trailer out multiple times. So I went through, we have 7 parks in town, 7 main parks. And outside of that, we do various locations around town to try to keep everything look nice and clean. That actually adds up to almost 100 acres of land that we cut twice a month. We cut every other week. It's a lot of land to maintain. So it's challenging, it's time consuming, but we do it. We try to get to everything we can. We got a schedule for it. We try to make it happen. In addition, we've taken on some vacant lots, just our problem areas that always are there. That actually add up to another 23 acres of land. So we do 123 acres of land, which is on top of 26 road miles that we maintain. And now for plowing, we're one of the only towns that do tandem. So that's 1 down, 1 back. So that's, what is that? That's 52 miles that we plow. So when the snow season's coming, I know we don't get to everyone as fast as everyone would like to get us. We have a route. It usually takes about 5 hours to get through the entire town. Be patient. We'll get out there depending on the weather. We'll be there. We'll get the snow out of the way, and we'll put some salt down for you. Maintaining that equipment. Again, with all that cutting, we have 3 mowers, 1 tractor, and a ditch mower. That's always out running. So we got to keep those greased, running, rolling. Just trying to keep those in service all the time with how much we cut. It's a little challenging, but we're working through it. We're making it happen. Keeping up to date with industry standards. That's just job safety stuff with the guys. They know they're on site, what needs to happen, what they need, PPE, personal protective equipment, how to just get through the job safely. And the funding for the snowplow conversion I was talking to earlier, that is why we switched to the tailgates, because with this liquid we got to add, there's these saddle tanks that we put on the back of the trucks that spray liquid on the salt. Because this is all the EPA, they want us to try to use less road salt. So we got to try to mix it with water. It's the runoff that they're worried about. So we mix it with water so it sticks to the street better. I know it doesn't make sense in everyone's head. Water makes ice. I get it. But this is the EPA, and it's got to be in place by 2025. So we're working on that. And things to remember. It's that season. And there's only one place we can put snow. I apologize. But we got to keep the middle of the streets open. I know it's a pain. I do it to my own parents. They still live in town. I apologize for that. And then shoveling the snow back in the street, we ask, go to the sides. It doesn't help anybody. All it does is make an ice speed bump in front of your driveway. Because we don't just come back just for that one little spot. We got the whole town to maintain. And then you're going to drive over, you're going to make an ice spot, and just try to go to the sides as best you can. Speed bumps. Speed bumps are coming up right after this, probably tomorrow. They will be up, and they're going to go back down April 1st. The fountains will also be pulled probably by the end of this week, if not beginning of next week. And they're going to go back April 1st, hopefully with new infrastructure, so we can get those things running. Chipping season is going to end November 20th. So you got two more weeks to put out your branches. And then it'll begin April 8th of next year is when the chipper will be back out. Obviously, we'll bring the chipper out for emergencies, but the traditional picking up branching service ends the week of November 20th. And I can be reached at dliebiter@villageoflinwood.net. My number is 708-973-7642. And I'm sure some of you have called before. Please leave a voicemail. If you don't leave a voicemail, I can't call you back. Because again, I'm not just answering the phone all the time. Sometimes I'm out doing stuff. Just leave a message and I promise I will get back to you. And
Thank you so much, Superintendent Lieber. And Superintendent Garcia, we thank you so much for your information. And we want to thank all the other presenters that went up so far. Let's give it up for Mr. Joyce Hurley, Mr. Brian Thigpen, Ms. Crystal Johnson, Trustee Lilly, and Trustee Dunlap. Thank you all so much. We have an elected official represented here on today. We have Brandon Heath representing State Rep Marcus Evans here. Let's give it up for Mr. Brandon Heath. And we also have in our midst our Cook County Assessor. We're so honored and privileged to have him here with us today at the Village of Lynwood Town Hall meeting. Let's give it up for Cook County Assessor, Mr. Fritz Kagi.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. How are you? It's so good to be back here again. I think this is the 4th time I've been here this year. And it's an honor to be here with you, and you're giving us your evening with us here tonight, so it means a lot. I'm going to go straight through what I have for you. You know, I saw Mayor Curry just last week. She was all the way up north in Skokie, or in Lynwood, right? And it wasn't because she wanted to hang out there, it's because there was a property tax summit taking place. And she was there making sure that the testimony of all of us here in Lynwood was heard by policymakers who come from across Cook County and the region, who are trying to drive policy change. She took advantage of the opportunity to get in front of several different Cook County commissioners who are driving policy on how we can make our property tax system work better for everyone. She was one of the only mayors not from the North Shore who made that trip up. So I just want to salute Mayor Curry for being such a great advocate. And we have been here several times this year. Mayor Curry was our very first stop. Lynwood was our very first stop. My team and I, we met with 70 mayors in the Southland and in the west suburbs this year. She was our first stop because she's a leader on all of this, and we wanted to make sure that we're talking about all the things that we need to before we talk to the other mayors. We met with all the other trustees too. She made sure that we did that so that we heard the full spectrum of your experience through the people who are closest to you as elected officials. We came back again to speak to your Chamber of Commerce so that we could make sure that the reforms that we're trying to push through the assessment system are helping to facilitate investment here in Lynwood, because we know you're here on the border with Indiana, you're close to Will County, you feel every single inequity and inefficiency that comes with our tax system, probably more than just about any other community in Cook County. So we want to be here to work with your Chamber of Commerce. And we are here from Lynwood Fest, which is pretty great. Great hot dogs. I probably had too many of those myself, but it was pretty fun. And I'm here with Kelvin Harris, who joins me. Kelvin, just stand up and raise your hand. Kelvin's our Deputy Assessor for Civic Engagement, which means he has our whole outreach efforts here. And we've done a lot of those here too. This is a reassessment year, so we've made sure that we're doing workshops here in the community, helping people understand our assessment system, make sure everyone's getting the exemptions that they deserve. I know the tax bills are being sent today by the treasurer. They're sent by the treasurer, not the assessor now. They're up less than 3% for the typical bill in Lynwood, okay? And I know that's because of the hard work and folks like in the village here for keeping their levies down. So this is something important to know. But also in the reassessment season, we want to make sure that everyone is taking advantage of the appeal process, making sure that they're not overassessed, and that we're here to help you. The most important thing I'd like you to take away in a reassessment year is that a change in your assessment does not mean the same change in your tax bill, okay? We have housing prices that have rebounded in the Southland after years of being in the doldrums. And that's reflected in the reassessment notices that you received. If your assessment was up 30% or 40%, it does not mean your taxes are going to go up that amount. Why is that? We don't have fixed tax rates in Cook County. If everyone's assessment goes up by that amount, then your share of the burden doesn't change much and your bills change by a much smaller amount. That's the most important thing I want to leave people with. When you get your tax bills, make sure you have your exemptions. The typical homeowner's exemption is worth about $1,300 here in the Southland. 1/3 of homeowners in Cook County don't have their homeowner's exemption. We probably got more than a dozen people in this room who don't have their homeowner's exemption, who have a lot of money coming back to them. Not only because you can get your exemption this year, but you can look back the three years that you didn't have it and get those refunded to you too. That's called a certificate of error. You can do that on our website at cookcountyassessor.com. If we go to the next slide, I just wanted to give you a little bit of other things from the vantage point that I see as assessor. The best news for Lynwood is that after 15 years of housing prices being in the doldrums, of us having to live with homes that were underwater with a mortgage being worth more than the house, people are recognizing the value in Lynwood, that we have great homes with a lot of space. And prices are going up, and people are making money on the investments that they've made. That's the best news we've had in the past 3 years when it comes to real estate. It's going to be driving down rates here in Lynwood. So You should all be giving yourselves a hand because you've had to put up with a lot of struggle over the last 15 years with that housing market. The Southland was hit so hard. A lot of people don't want to talk about what they went through, what their friends went through, but things are coming better in the housing market. So for everyone who's stuck through it, you should be giving yourself a hand, because this is generational wealth that we're talking about here. We're also seeing good growth in logistics and transportation and industrial. We know this is sometimes annoying. We don't sometimes want to see trucks ripping up our roads, but it means that because of where we are, we got the best location in the nation. We're at the center of a continent, right here in the Southland, where all the transport comes together. There's commercial investment that's going to be helping to build our tax base too. And the beautiful, spacious homes that we have here in Lynwood makes it pretty attractive to work from home here. And that helps retail businesses because more people are staying in their houses rather than leaving the community during the day. So this is another opportunity. So those are the big things I want to leave you with. I want to leave on a positive note. And I just want to know that you got a great mayor here, and thanks for inviting me.
Let's give it up one more time for our Cook County Assessor, Mr. Fitzgerald. Thank you for your information, sir. Next up, we have from our engineering department, Mr. David Schilling. Let's give a round of applause to Mr. Schilling.
Thank you. Hello, my name is David Schilling. I work for Robinson Engineering. Robinson Engineering has been the engineering consultants for the Village of Lynwood going back to 2003. I personally have been the village engineer for the past 10 years or so. I truly appreciate the mayor and the rest of the board for their continued confidence in our services. We are a full-service civil municipal engineering company, so we work with streets, traffic signals, street lights, water, sewer, compliance issues. But today I want to specifically talk about the streets work that we do. Next slide, please. In 2023, we did the largest street resurfacing project since I've been in Lynwood. We used a combined $273,000 worth of CDBG funding that's provided by Cook County. I'll get into that in a little bit. And we combined that with $594,000 we got from the state of Illinois. That was from the Rebuild Illinois program. That was some bonds that the state sold using revenue from the MFT funds that they gave back to the community. So we did almost $900,000 worth of work at no cost to the village at all. So very exciting. To break that down, there's a street map here. We did about 8.5 blocks, which is over a mile of streets. You can see the numbers there, about 3,900 tons of asphalt, 2,200 square feet of sidewalk, about 3,000 feet of curb, and a bunch of drainage structures to keep all the water flowing through the streets. So next slide, please. Now back to the CDBG. CDBG, Community Development Block Grants, that is federal funds from HUD that is distributed by Cook County. The village pays for the engineering on these, and then HUD pays for the construction. Lynwood is eligible for anywhere between $100,000 and $400,000 per year. It seems to be we get that money every other year. It used to be that HUD gave a lot more, so now the county has less to work with. So they've been pretty fair, and instead of getting it every year, you might get every other year. So we're pretty happy with the $273,000 we got. You might ask, why have all the recent streets kind of been in the same area? Well, CDBG is only eligible for those areas that are low to moderate income, and that's determined by the census data. So you can see on this map, only the yellow areas are eligible for CDBG work. So the past couple of years, since that's been our only source of street funding, we've kind of had to stick within that area. Next slide, please. And then pavement analysis. Superintendent Lieber kind of got into how the streets were picked. In 2019, the village got a grant from the Chicago Metropolitan Area for Planning, that's CMAP, to rate all 32 miles of streets within the village. And they came up with this map. Each street was rated on a scale from 0 to 100. They used a mobile van that had a bunch of sensors on it, drove all the streets, and came up with the street rating map, and came up with a plan for the village to keep their streets in good condition. So not always is the worst street done first. Sometimes the street not that bad will need to be done ahead of a street that's worse to keep that street in good condition. Because once the crack starts, once the potholes start, the water gets in, destroys the base, then you're going from a relatively simple mill and overlay to a full pavement reconstruction. So we do try to follow that list as much as budget allows. And that is the state of the streets in the village of Lynwood. Thank you. Steve? Yep.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kirk Marshall, Trustee Marshall, the Chairman of the Public Safety. And I had some slides. I don't know what happened to them, but I was giving away bags of money, but the Brinks truck got slid off the road and money got away from us early this morning. So I'll get to you guys later. Got time to get it? You got time to get it. All right. Cash App and Zelle. But again, thank you guys for coming out. We really appreciate it. This is our third year as this full body, and I always like to say I'm godly proud to work with each one of these individuals. It's a pleasure to be able to serve the village. That's what I'm here to do, to serve. I constantly say I'm not a politician, I'm here to serve. That's what I'm here to do, serve, serve, serve. With that, this time last year, we had a different police chief and a different fire chief. Well, I'm proud to announce that we have two new individuals to our staff. We have a new fire chief, Mrs. LaShawn Austin, to my right here on the very end. And then on my left here, we have our newest chief of police, Mr. Gregory Thomas. And along with Commander Weinbrick and Commander Hernandez, they will come up and tell you what we're doing here now and what's going in the future for the village of Lynwood.
Good evening, everyone. My name is LaShawn Austin. I am the Chief Public Safety Fire Administrator for the Fire Department. Here in the room also with me is my Deputy Chief, John Swanson. He wants to stand up and wave. So the Village of Lynwood, when I first started, the village was a part-time fire department. They staffed the firehouse from Friday night till Monday morning. As of May 1st, we switched over to a part-time department where we staff the firehouse 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days with two firefighter EMTs on duty at all times. The Village of Lynwood Fire Department offers fire suppression, basic life support, basic life, non-transport. So our fire engine is equipped with two EMTs, and they can provide emergency services when they go out to respond to calls, hazmat incidents, vehicle extrications, and technical rescue. And then the fire department is also part of what's called Mavis Division 24. So when we have a fire, so we're a small department, so the departments around us, so we have a fire, we have a agreement with the seven to nine towns around us. They come and assist us with fires. We bring personnel, fire trucks, engines, ambulances, depending on whatever we need, just as we go assist them if they need us as well. As I said, since May 1st, Lynwood Fire Department became a part-time fire department. We're staffed 24/7, 365 with two firefighters on duty at all times. When I first started, Lynwood Fire Department staffed a total of 14 firefighters. Right now, we're up to a total of 26 firefighters in the fire department. We currently have 3 firefighters that are not EMTs or EMT school. They are in EMT school right now, and we have 2 non-certified civilian people that we hired. They're actually in the fire academy as we speak. So just about that. So firefighters go to a fire academy. There's a 6-month fire academy they attend to. Our students is at EMT school. There are 4 months in EMT school, and then after that they take a state national certification to become a firefighter or EMT. Also with the Department of Success, that Lynwood has moved over from paper pretty much to everything on a computer-based system. We are currently in compliance with the state fire marshal, and we follow all the state fire marshal rules. Department challenges. So Lynwood's equipment, our engines are old, but they still work. 1988, 1994, and 2007. All 3 engines actually still work and they run. We keep up on maintenance as we can. The goal is that we're state compliant with the state fire marshal is to start applying for grants to try to get new equipment, new hoses, new gears. Some of our gears coming up about 10 years old. Gears normally used about 10 years and it needs to be replaced. So we're gonna start working on some grants. Space for growth. Like I said, they went from not staffing the firehouse to staffing the firehouse now. So, now it's kind of crowded in the firehouse. So now we need some new room and new space for future builds. Manpower, like I said, currently we're at 26. My goal is to take the fire department to about 40 on the roster. That way we're we're a part-time department. So the more the merrier we can work. Daily staffing that I would like to take it to is 3 firefighters on duty at all times, with the future of having 4 firefighters on duty at all times. And all those firefighters will be dual firefighter and EMTs. The fire department changes. The fire department is looking into having our first ambulance. Our BLS ambulance service will eventually going over to our ALS ambulance service in the future. So BLS ambulance means it's a basic life support ambulance. It's staffed with 2 EMTs. They can provide medical care and get you over to the hospital versus the advanced life support ambulance. They can start IVs, they can intubate you, they can give you medications. Those are 2 different services that we have. So future plans for the fire department is to become a BLS ambulance service provider and then move over to ALS at some point in time. Our next plan for the fire department is to work with our commercial and education buildings. So the fire department's gonna go out and pre-plan. So we wanna go out and look at all the buildings in town and see what they have, to see how the building structure is set up. So if our firemen have to go inside the building, we kind of know the layout, so we're just not walking in blind. So we know, if we go over to a building and they have a different chemical or they use something different, that we know what's in there before I put my men and women in harm's way. And fire department contacts. Like I said, I am the fire administrator. My business cards are actually on the table. If you can't read that, but you can call the firehouse if you need anything at 0708-758-6102. If you want to email us, it's fire@villageoflynwood.net. And the business cards are on the table if you guys need anything. And up next is the Chief of Police.
Good evening, everyone. Pleasure to meet you all. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Gregory Thomas, the Chief of Police, and to my left is Commander Larry Weinbrecht and Commander Jesse Hernandez. I was sworn into office on July 20th of this year, and immediately when we came in, we met with the department, we discussed goals, we discussed accountability for our stakeholders, which is you, our citizens, our business owners. We conducted a department inventory and audit, and I was pleased to know that pretty much all of our inventories and audits are done, and we are in good standards across the board. Met with supervisors and our rest of our department. We discussed our employee policies and manuals. There were some updates, some upgrades done so that we can best police you and protect our citizens. Also, we talked about our vision and our goals for our department, how we can convey those things. And I'm pleased to tell you that We have a department with an outstanding decor about themselves, very polite, and professionalism is something that I am key on. So you will see professionalism from our agency. Next slide. Our challenges. When I was hired, we were pretty much running what we call a skeleton shift. That means we would bare minimum each shift. Our guys were unable to get time off, were unable to take vacations, and we immediately, within a month, we hired 5 full-time officers, 2 part-time officers. Some of those are still in training, but they will be released pretty soon. You got here early, you've probably seen one of them. We have looked at our department, see what we were lacking in some of our training, and we have provided those trainings, those state mandated trainings. We had a specific training that we brought in outside agents where we trained in our sex offenders and violent offenders. It ended yesterday. We assembled a task force due to this training where each of our sex offenders, violent offenders against youth have been visited by us to ensure that, number one, they were in compliance, and they were registered. And we did that intentionally because we knew that Halloween season would come, so you have the safest Halloween. I'm pleased to tell you that there were no incidents to report as relates to our Halloween. So our children were safe, and our agency took extra steps to ensure that. Thank you. At this time, I want to pause for a moment. We want to acknowledge our commissioners. Commissioner Johnson, if you want to stand, raise your hands. Commissioner Hurt, you've probably seen him earlier. Commissioner Mason. And they are extremely important to what we do. So no officer is hired with our agency without passing this board. So this board has been inspirational in hiring and is getting us up to staff. Thank you for what you do. These are some of the training and mandates that we have instituted in the near past. So some of it is mandated training by our state. The others is some of the certifications that all of our agencies, all of our officers in our agencies are qualified for. So we are pretty much a self-sufficient, standalone agency. We have officers here who are certified in nearly everything. So we have crime scene investigators, so we can pull, if you have burglaries and things of that nature, we can pull, find DNA, we can detect fingerprints, breath operators, so on and so forth. So SWAT officers, so we are tactically ready for whatever presents itself to our village. And so training is a big thing for me. So training is a big thing. We want to ensure that we can address any issue that comes our way. This is something that I'm extremely proud of. We have recently partnered with the Cook County Sheriff Department and their TRT team, which is the treatment response team. So this team was came into play during the pandemic. Initially, this team was assembled to address overdose. So we have an opiate issue within Cook County where there's a large amount of overdose cases. But during the pandemic, what we noticed in law enforcement, there was a lot of mental cases that we were forced to deal with. So the TRT team has essentially put together a team that law enforcement, so now when we respond to calls and we can determine, or we determine that call that it's more of a medical related issue, a mental related issue versus a criminal issue, the TRT has a system now where we can, through Zoom, provide on-scene clinical technicians and clinical psychologists. So we started treatment there. So the TRT team would essentially take over, not take over the call, but take over some of the communication and speak to the person that's in this mental crisis issue. And when those people are transported to the hospital, they would do an advance call to speak to the ER doctors to let them know what they're suffering from. And they also do follow-up. So this reduces liability on the police department. So, and furthermore, the thing I'm most proud of is we get people the proper help they need. And I'm pleased to say that just yesterday, I've gotten feedback that our officers have been utilizing this, the TRT system, and we have essentially gotten a lot of people some help. So this is a new part of law enforcement that we're moving into, and we want to help our mental people having mental distress versus being the police. So jails are not the answer for everything. We are a step ahead of a lot of other agencies because we want to first to partner with this type of work. Next slide. So we have been, just like the common trend you've been hearing, have aggressively been seeking grants. So this is one of the grants, is one of the many grants that we have just completed actually. This is through the Illinois Department of Transportation. It aligns itself with the Click It or Ticket. And pretty much what it does is it gives us free services for you. So our officers are signing up for overtime at an overtime rate, and the grant reimburses it. So these officers are essentially enforcing traffic related issues, making our streets safer, also deterring crime. The more traffic stops you see, the more crime is deterred from your town. I can tell you now, coming from another agency than working here, the word is you don't want to drive through Lynwood. And that's the way we want to keep it. We want to keep people who don't have good intents from coming into Lynwood. So as many times as we can push traffic grants and traffic details, this is what we want to do. So it's not to harass people at all, but certainly people who tend to come with criminal minds, for some odd reason, they always break the law when they drive. So we get a head start on it. So I'm proud to announce this, and this is no cost to you because the overtime rate that we pay them, this grant is reimbursed. So things to remember, upcoming November 13th, we will be hosting Highland Park and Highland Park's Chief of Police. All right, so we all are aware of what happened last year, July 4th, the Highland Park shooting. So we've been in communication with Highland Park. They would be bringing their team here, and they would put on a presentation. And what they're going to discuss is some of their vulnerabilities. What happened on July 4th with our agency, not just our agency, with our entire administrative staff. And they're going to be discussing their vulnerabilities, the lessons they learned. So this is what I know about law enforcement, all right? The best way to learn from a crisis is two ways. Either go visit that crisis scene or have those survivors to come teach you. And it better prepares us, all right? We've seen that our summer was full of festivals and full of events. We want to be better prepared on, number one, how to prevent these things, right? And then number two, how to respond if they happen. So they'll be here, as you can see, the entire village hall will be closed on the 13th due to that because this is the training that everybody needs to be a part of. So during the 4th of July parade, there were elected officials out there. How do we protect our elected officials? How do we protect our citizens? How do we get our youth out of there? All these things will be discussed. So they'll be here on November 13th. There is limited seating left for some residents because we as an agency want to be proactive. We do mutual aid with other agencies too in these type of situations. So we invited some of our neighboring towns. But there will be some limited seats, and that event will be held at our library. We will post perhaps on our Facebook page how many seatings we have, and first come, first serve for the citizens with that one. That's all right. Well, also, I will mention this before we move on. The Pretrial Fairness Act. So we all know, we've already heard the name Safety Act. The Pretrial Fairness Act has changed the way we police, all right? It changed offenses that we can actually arrest and detain for. Well, the date is to be coming, but we will let you know. I want to host an event where we invite our stakeholders out, our business owners, and you guys need to know now because the way of the past is gone. So we want you to know our limitations, and we want you to know the things that you need to know so we can better protect you. So again, the Pre-Trial Fairness Act became law September 18th, I believe it was the date. So now we want you to know what that law means. So be looking for this date. Next slide. So we want to be, our veterans luncheon is this 9th, November 9th. Actually, this is the place to be. please get this word out. All you veterans that's here, please show up. We want to honor you for what you have done for our country, and this is what you deserve. All right? Just some events that we've had, some pictures, so our bowling with badges. We've had a recruiting fair, so we brought more people in. We have a new K-9 officer and a new K-9 dog, so be looking out for Maverick, our dog, and his handler, or our officer, Kimber. Upcoming things, so Lynwood, we are right now in the process of recruiting from within our agency officers to be a part of our new tactical and intelligence unit. All right, so we are real big on being proactive and preventing things from coming here. The best way to prevent criminals and crimes from occurring here is intelligence. All right, so intelligence is just a big word for a lot of things that we do in law enforcement. We want to know about incidents that are occurring around us so that we can prevent them from coming. We build informant bases here. We deal with a lot of technology, so we deal with cell phone technology and tracking technology. So we will have a unit real soon that we would want you to be involved with. You see things that's suspicious, this intelligence unit would, number one, push data to understand it. Number two, investigate it for you so we can prevent things. Rapid response team, I want to say this, our food and toy drive is happening now. If you are someone who wants to donate, please, when this is over, see one of these gentlemen. We want to get your information and we want to accept your donations. This is a great cause for our community. And to be coming, we will be wanting you guys to host a block club meeting so we can come, speak to you, find out your concerns, and better serve you. And that is it for me. So we can be reached at 708-758-4744, or this is our email address, police@villageoflynwood.net. Please, your questions, concerns, reach out to us.
Good evening. My name is Kimberly Switterick, and I am the Finance Director. I would like to go over some of the department successes. All right. First of all, I want to say that we are still current with some of our key vendors, such as ComEd, NICOR, Lincoln Lansing Drainage District, Al Warren, which is our fuel vendor, City of Hammond, which is one of our water vendors, and some of our smaller vendors. We are maintaining the payment plan with the Village of Lansing, which is our main water vendor, and Illinois Municipal League. We are leasing our fleet of vehicles with Enterprise to save on costs. We have completely paid off 2 lighting project loans to the tune of about $241,000. A fire truck loan that costs about $37,000, and a software loan that costs a little bit over $20,000. And we have made our final payment on our 2012 bond series that costs about $83,000. And we have completely paid off 2 TALs, which is a tax anticipation warrant, that cost the village about $310,000. These TALs was on the village books for well over 10 years. Some of our department challenges. The main challenge that we have in the finance department is revenue. For over 20 years, the expenditures have outpaced the revenue. If the village will increase the revenue by at least $1 million a year, it would greatly improve the financial struggles that occur within the village. Upcoming plans. The village has some exciting businesses coming into town to help increase revenue, such as Dunkin' Donuts, Equestrian University, and BAM, Body and Mind, just to name a few. With an increase in revenue, we can start to pay down our massive pension debt. And just to give an update on our audits, the fiscal year 2021 audit was completed in April of 2023. We are currently going through our fiscal year 2022 audit. And our fiscal year 2022 audit is currently underway. And our fiscal year 2023 audit will be completed in will be completed in 2024, excuse me. And up next is our village clerk, Karen Wingfield Bond. Right, just because of that.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Karen Wingfield Bond, and I proudly serve as your village clerk and have been since 2010. Go back. Go back. Okay. So my job as village clerk is keeper of the records. That's my official title. So I brought some records here. For your listening pleasure, Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder from 1976. Betcha by golly, wow. The stylistics, 1971. I'm sorry. Stylistics, 1971. Papa was a Rolling Stone, The Temptations, 1972. The Lady in My Life by Michael Jackson, 1982. And At Last by Miss Etta James, 1961. So I've got some records for you.
That was my joke. That was
Thank you. I am, I know, right? I do that all by myself. Okay. So seriously, ladies and gentlemen, ordinances, resolutions, any meeting minutes that the village any meeting minutes that we have, as well as any contracts that the village enters into, is the records that I am responsible for keeping. Thank you. Next thing. So some of the administrative services that the office offers are village sticker applications, alarm permits, animal registrations, which are done on a yearly basis. We have new and renewed business license applications that you can get in the office. We can set up water accounts, pay bills, of course, pay tickets from the police and the building code inspector. We provide notary services, any FOIA requests, passport applications, and voter registration. Next slide. So you may know I'm a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. And ladies, I'm appealing to you. In 1913, ladies, we could not vote. We had to march, we had to fight, we had to march, we had to fight, we had to walk, we had to protest just to vote, just to register to vote, let alone vote. Next slide, please. So, Lynwood, voter registration. I think we're working on this. We've heard you, and we can actually help you. You can register to vote in person at Village Hall. Cook County has allowed you to register to vote online from the comfort of your own home. You can register during early voting, and guess what? You can even register the day of voting. Day of the election day. That's awesome. Next slide. So I think, Lynwood, we understand that assignment. As of October 30th, 2023, the Village of Lynwood currently has 7,413 registered voters on record, which is amazing, considering we only have 9,116 residents in the whole community. So that's 81% of our population. That's amazing. We've got that. Let's give ourselves a hand. Yes. We're not too fast. Next slide. This is the bad part. Only 17%, and this is on the high end. Our average is about 11, 12%. Unacceptable. But only 17% of our registered voters actually come out and vote. Why? Why? If we provide early voting options, and we have provided early voting options, at Sandridge Elementary School, which is our newly annexed school. We provide options at the Senior Youth Center, and we'll provide options at Village Hall if necessary. And we even provide transportation opportunities. So Lynwood, why? Why are we only looking at 17%, like I said, on the high end? And that's on the presidential elections. Next slide. Again, we're better than this. We are much better than this. And my question again is, why are we plagued with voter apathy when we are so much better than this, Lynwood? If we provide transportation to and from the polling places, and if we provide voting, early voting options here in the village for everyone's convenience, and if the polling places are located right in the village hall for everyone's convenience, and if assistance is needed, I mean, you have any issues with mail-in ballots, we can help you, then why are we sleeping on this issue? Why? Next slide. So my slide says voting is a little thing that makes a big difference. And I realized I was wrong. Voting is a big thing that makes a bigger difference. Your vote is your voice, and your voice is your vote. And you know why? Because we get the attention of others. We get the attention of our state reps. We get the attention of our senators. They help us with money to fix our streets, to fix our roads, to fix our sidewalks, to fix our parks. So we need their attention. They need us like we need them. So we need to do a much better job with this, Lynwood. Next slide, please. Here's some upcoming election dates in 2024. We have a presidential primary election, which is March 19th, 2024, and our presidential general election, which is November 5th, 2024. Lynwood, we need to show up and show out on these numbers. There's power in numbers, and we need to show up and show out. So, next one. I don't have the solution, but I have a suggestion. My suggestion is each one of us needs to reach one of us. Each one of us needs to reach one of us. We have to get these numbers up, Lynwood. We're so much better than this, and we can do it. It's about time for us to get Lynwood on the map. Thank you. My name is Karen Wingfield Bond, and I approve this message.
Do I need to read the introduction?
Yeah.
Okay, so introduction, I've been in Lynwood for a long time. I came in 2021. I'm a nurse by trade, so that's why I'm on the health committee. You can't hear me? Right, what about now? Can you hear me? Should I take it off? Okay, again, I'm Rolanda Clark, trustee. How you guys doing? All right. So I've been in the village for a long, long time. I'm a nurse, and I serve on the Health and Wellness Committee. Next slide. Okay. So we were told to talk about departmental successes. And through our COVID events that we have here, through dissemination of information on how to get to the COVID events here and outside, here in Lynwood, we had less than 1% of deaths from COVID. And I think that is awesome because there were a lot of COVID deaths. This was a partnership. It wasn't just me alone. Our clerk, our mayor, our other trustees, and everyone. We made sure that we kept Lynwood healthy, and that is my ultimate goal. My ultimate goal is to advocate for all of us that's at the bottom. And case manage. I've case managed several people here in Lynwood who have come to me for different things. Also, one of the things I do advocate for is housing. And I've helped two of our homeless people get into the coordinated entry program where they got housed. I've also helped several people get into the Section 8 housing program through one of the special programs with Cook County, because I do work for Cook County. And with those special programs, we were able to get that
So thank you. Make sure you keep giving Cook County those funding so we can get those vouchers, right? All right. I want to say that reproductive health. So I am a Christian and I'm a saint, but I do believe abortion is a health right. And I know people may say one thing or the other, but here's the thing. People don't know certain people's situations, and they need to know this information. So here in Illinois, even though Roe versus Wade were overturned, here in Illinois, we still have that right. Women's right to choose is a right and a health choice, and it helps and it saves. So don't judge. The prominent challenges. Okay, some of the things are, believe it or not everyone here in Lynwood have internet access. And that is a big thing. It can help with applying for some of those CETA programs that you were talking about, the LEHAP program and the other things. So through some of the nonprofit organizations and some of the programs and the fundings that we're getting, and Mayor, you may know more about that, we are trying to get people here in Lynwood internet access. If you are under a certain income, for sure, you can get it with Comcast. You just have to apply for it. And then computer literacy is another thing. Our libraries have computer literacy programs, and there are also our nonprofit organization where you can get that done. So if you recognize a person, send them my way, and I'll help get them hooked up with that. Sunny days. You might wonder why I have sunny days up there. Okay, so the bike event, that's my event. I love it. The Glow in the Dark bike event. I hope I see you guys out here the second Saturday in October next year. But we can't always have sunny days. It rained this year, so we didn't have it. Some of our other events, like at some of our movie nights, it rained. You can't predict Mother Nature, you know. I kind of like her, but she don't always like me back, so I don't know what to do about that. So hopefully, you know, we'll keep healthy events coming, and we'll have better days to get that. Okay, volunteerism. That is one of the permanent challenges. I like to onboard many volunteers. If you want to raise your hand, I see one of my volunteers out in the audience. She's kind of ducking her head. I'm not going to say who she is right now. But we like to get the youth volunteering for our health program and, you know, different things to get them on board, to give them activities, you know, and to keep them grounded so they don't go astray and get into some of the riffraff that goes on. Because we do have a little riffraff here and there, but not much. That's good. Equipment. So, the police department, because with my bike event, the best equipment you need is that bike, right? So we need to get people bikes. The police department has donated bikes. I have raffle bike. We had our attorney here, sitting over there next to the mayor, buy raffle tickets and donated the bike. We had another business here, trucking business, that bought raffle tickets and they donated theirs as well. So we want to get bikes to individuals. If you know garage sales, you see some kids that really need a bike and they need a garage, you know, you find something cheap at a garage sale, I might foot the bill, just call me up. And funding. So we need funding to keep things going. Of course, as you have heard, our engineer over there, grants are the thing that gets money in Lynwood and have our activities going on. Our biggest grant writer is right over there at the door. She's real shy, and she's not gonna probably acknowledge this, but she gets a lot of money for Lynwood. Miss Sheila? She know what I was talking about. Okay, things to remember. Things to remember. Biking is one of the things I advocate for. Biking paths is another thing because we need more things, you know, for safety reasons, right? And I noticed that one of our biking paths that is a walking and biking path, we have one new one. I don't know if everyone has noticed that. It's between Camelot Lane. It's on the south side of Lynwood Road, and it goes all the way to Cottage Grove. Have you guys noticed that? Yes, so hopefully we'll get more of those things, right? With more funding, more grant writing, and more of the mayor going all these different places and advocating for Lynwood. Thank you. She's busy. Okay. What else? What are we? Things to remember. Okay. One second. That's the last slide. Mhm. Things to remember? Okay, no, so we're finished with things to remember. No, some of the things and things to remember, I like you guys, what I do monthly is the National Monthly Health Awareness Month. I do that because a lot of people aren't aware of preventive measures that could keep them healthy. So through that, I just make sure that, you know, sometimes it might reach somebody and they may talk to someone else and reach someone else. Preventive medicine is the best medicine. I like to put out things like things to remember, the crisis hotline. Our officer did say mental illness is something they deal with a lot. And unfortunately, with a lot of the migrants, we're finding a lot of mental health issues. So you guys are gonna really have your hands full. So I really applauded him for getting that done. Also, the suicide prevention hotline, and also, you know, just a crisis helpline, 988, that number. You don't have to dial 911, just dial 988. So, upcoming department changes. Hard decisions. Oh, you didn't do the upcoming, okay. So, okay, good, I'm off the hook. That's it, right.
Good evening, everyone. I usually ask, can you hear me? Because I can be pretty soft-spoken. But today I want to know, can you see me? Because I feel like you can't see me. So yes, good thing I wore a hat, right? My name is Cynthia Eves. I want to know that I am a 26-year resident of the village. I raised my family here, and I simply love our village. I started with that because I want you to know that I consider myself a resident first. I'm going to be here whether I'm trustee or not. I thank God that I am trustee because I get a chance to positively make changes for our village that I have not seen the 26 years that I was here. And I was appointed May of 2021 as a trustee and to chair the finance committee. I am proud to say that my name was on the ballot for the first time in April of this year. And I want to thank everyone that came out to vote. Voting is important. Please, please, like our clerk said, please, your votes count, they matter. People will hear you. They are looking at Lynwood already because we're doing such a fantastic job. We need our voter registrations or our voters to come out to vote so we can back up and say, hey, this is where we are, this is what we need. My finance committee, the committee members, would you please stand if you are here? The committee members are 3 residents, myself, trustee Kurt Marshall is my co-chair, and our chief of staff finance director Kimberly Switerick is a member as well. And this is Dr. Stacy McJunkins. She's one of the residents that is on the committee. The goals of the committee is to research and provide information that will help village residents financially and educationally improve their quality of life through programs and workshops. So we research, we try to bring to you guys, or we bring to you guys information that will help you as far as being a renter, homeowners, any type of grants that are out there, scholarships for our students, and any way that, whether it's ComEd, that can save the residents money. I have a personal passion for our youth. I believe in investing in our future generations. It has always been a passion. It's going to continue to be a passion. So when I first came on board, I spoke with the mayor and I said, we need to do something for our youth. We came up with the financial literacy program for our high school students, grades 9th through 12th. Any student, we don't care where you attend school, we don't care if you are a resident of the village, we need to educate our young generation on how to manage their money. We need to start it at an early age so they will not be in as much debt, or they can, move around and do some things other than just working to pay off debt that they have. The financial literacy program is a 6-week program. We do it annually. It will start in March of it started in 2022. We had a program in the fall. We had 10 students with that program. Those 10 students did graduate from the program, and we said, hey, we're going to make this an annual event, which is what we did. We had a ceremony at the end of the program. We gave the students a certificate. Community service hours were given as well. We partnered with First National Bank of Lynwood. They came in and reiterated the information that we shared with the students. We helped the students open up savings accounts, and the committee made a monetary deposit into those savings accounts that those students made. So it was really a good program for our students. I also spoke to the mayor when I came in because I brought up 3 students in the village. And one of the things that I wish that we had was a scholarship for our students. When I spoke with the mayor, I told her that I wanted to do an educational scholarship, and we would raise the money through fundraising. The first year that we did it, we were able to give away 8 $1,000 scholarships to students that are Lynwood residents. Those students were first-time college-bound students, and so the 2023 year, my prayer was to give away $10,000 money to our students. I was a little disappointed because only 3 students applied for the scholarship. So we gave each of those students $1,000 scholarships. However, Lord felt that $10,000 that I wanted to give away, so we had some additional scholarships through partners, businesses that partnered with the educational scholarship to give away scholarships to not only first-time students, but students that were currently in trade school or, that were further in their education. I would like to give thanks to the Chicago Muslim Alliance. They gave 4 $1,000 scholarships. The Lynwood Mobile gave 2 $1,000 scholarships. And the Lynwood Logistics Facility gave 4 $250 scholarships, which was a total of $10,000 in scholarships that we gave away to our babies in Lynwood. The 2024 goals and upcoming events for the Finance Committee, we're going to continue to provide information that will assist residents obtain financial and educational relief. So again, we do the research at the board meetings. I usually give information on how you can fill out applications or scholarships that are available for the residents, for renters, homeowners, as well as for our students. The financial literacy program, I'm looking to get, instead of 10 students, I'm hoping to have 15 students this year, grades 9th through 12th. Again, I don't care what village, what city you live in, just come and be a part of this program. The program will be in March on Saturdays. It's a 6-week program. Again, First National Bank is going to partner with us again. And also, we would like to have an adult session just let's talk about it. That's all we want to do. Nothing heavy. We just want to talk about this debt that we seem to be in and just offer avenues of how you can relieve some of your debt. That would be an adult program for one session in April on a Saturday. The educational scholarship. I pray big, but I know I serve an awesome God. $20,000 is what I want to give away this year for our students. And I don't want to limit it to just the students that are going to school for first time. I like to open it up to all students. So how are we going to do that? The village, as well as the finance committee, we are all going to pitch in together. We're going to have fundraisers. The fundraisers that we're going to do to help support this is a scholarship lottery raffle fundraiser that's going to be in April. We also are going to have a casino trip fundraiser that'll be in May. A village-wide garage sale, which will be in June. A cigar smoke and sip in July. And we're always taking monetary and new item donations to be raffled off to make the money for our scholarship. The application for our educational scholarship will be, it will go live April 1st. And I am praying that we have more students in the village to apply for the scholarship, make us work, because that's what we want to do. We're here to help and to serve our community. So if we only get 2 people, you know, that's not doing us any justice. We want more students, and we love that our businesses have come on board and that they are helping us with this. So please, if you know a student, tell them about the financial literacy program as well as the scholarship. And if you are interested, have an interest in the one-day adult literacy program or the casino trip, please let me know. My information, I have my business cards at the table, so please take one. And then, yes, thank you.
So listen, everybody, Trustee Blakey is on his way up. It's almost 7:30. We actually did a run through and everybody had 5 minutes, so I feel like I need to do my Ike Turner 5, 5, 5. Everybody's getting fined. We're going long. Hang in there with us. Trustee Blakey's coming, then I'll come and close it out, and we will stay for your questions.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Willard Bartholomew. And I could have sworn that Clerk Bond was an AKA. Is she AKA? We always joke like that. Good evening, everyone. On a very serious note. Thank you. You know what? Why don't you all stand up for just a second? Stand up, please, because everybody needs to stretch. I'm so glad to get off of that stool. I don't know what to do. Yeah, just stand up and stretch for a second. I'm only going to be before you for about an hour, and then we're going to have the mayor come. All right. Thank you very much for sticking with us this evening. There's a lot to cover, but we really appreciate you being out this evening and coming. When I was tasked with this particular responsibility, I thought about the department successes, and I was immediately reminded about a story that happened down at the state of Illinois Capitol, where we met Representative Thaddeus Jones. And this was our first, our first trip to the Capitol as newly elected officials, particularly the trustees. And Thaddeus kind of pulled a few of us aside and talked about what it means to be an effective trustee. Over the last 3 years, I've learned from Thaddeus, and I've learned from doing the job, what it means to be an effective and how to be an effective village trustee. And it's threefold. It's advocacy, it's reporting, and it's support. Advocacy, reporting, and support.
Advocacy is on a local, state, and federal level. We have, as you see, Assessor Kagi here this evening that represents our county. We have relationships and collaborations with the county, but also locally, statewide, and federally. It's important that we as trustees are advocating on behalf of the village in each one of those areas. I'm not going to spend too much time in those areas, but I did want to make sure that you all understood what the role of a trustee is. It's advocating also locally for example, our local businesses. One of those businesses I'd like to highlight, and the owner is here with us tonight, and that is, you probably know the business, Safari Life. The owner is here tonight. I don't know if you know her, but her name is Latoya Gammon. Latoya, just wave your hand there. Let's give Latoya a great big round of applause. Latoya recently invited myself and our colleagues to the third newest location of Safari Life. And I'm telling you, I went through there and I was completely and totally amazed. I've nicknamed her Madam CJ Latoya because she has a vision for not only taking education forward in the village of Lynwood, but also serving young people and families in the village of Lynwood and expanding the educational process here in the village of Lynwood. So we're very pleased to have her on board and with us. Consistent reporting is something that is very important to me, and that's something that I've done in each one of our village board meetings. I provided a report and an update as to what's going on in our village, whether that's with our school boards, whether that's with things happening from a statewide standpoint of view, or a federal standpoint of view. And Mayor Curry is going to touch on some of those things. The other thing that, we ran on a platform of trust, transparency, and transformation. It's important that we establish a solid foundation of community trust, that our leadership was transparent, and that our structural and human capital experiences levels of transformation. Just one example of that. We've been collaborating now with Pace Bus Company for a number of years. We've gotten already one shelter committed. They haven't installed it yet, but we've gotten one shelter committed because I was, as well as my colleagues, we were sick and tired of seeing our residents stand on the side of the road and not be protected by a shelter. It's very dangerous, and so we do have one committed, and we're hoping to get several more. But here's the other thing. As you know, the Pace bus right now only runs north and south through our village. It goes up and down Torrance. And so that limits anyone that wants to, come to Village Hall, if you will, or go to the west. So what we're looking at now, and what we're talking about, and this is thanks to the mayor and thanks to Sheila Edwards, who made the contact with Pace, we're looking at micro-transportation. Micro-transportation is the ability for you as residents of the village to be able to make a phone call, have a car to pick you up, and literally bring you to the village hall or bring you to a school or just wherever you want to go within the village. And there's a radius that they would go, and that would be at minimal cost to you. We're trying to get it at free of charge, but it'll be at minimal cost to you as a resident in the village of Lynwood. Commitment to excellence, community excellence. One of the things that I'm very high on is education, and I see that we have Kenesha LaSure here from who's the president of Sunnybrook, Sunnybrook's school district, school board. Kenesha, I got it twisted there. Kenesha, just wave your hand real quick. I'm happy that she is here with us tonight. They have a number of good things happening over at Sunnybrook's school district. The last time that I was there, I learned that they're focusing on culture and making sure that they are acknowledging and highlighting all of the different cultures that are existing in the school. They're also focusing this year specifically on math and reading skills, improving those math and reading skills, as well as sciences. The superintendent there, Superintendent Pettis, is also very committed to improving the education. Also here in the village of Lynwood, we have our first school we annexed in. I believe it was at the beginning of this year. We annexed our first school, which is Sandridge School. That's District 172. At 172, the school board president is Sonia Brown, and the superintendent is Kim Knowles. They're doing an excellent job as well. We're very pleased with the vision that they have for the village of Lynwood to make this school a blue ribbon school in a matter of years. They have a program to do that. They just recently hired a consultant. That consultant came in and revamped the entire curriculum, looked at the existing curriculum, looked at all of the areas that needed improvement, and they're making those improvements. So we're very pleased with the work that they are doing there. Also, I'm starting a youth council that's going to be able to speak to the village board and tell us and help us to understand what the concerns are of youth in our community. That's going to be very important and something that will be extremely beneficial to our board. Next slide, please. The next slide, the department challenges. The biggest challenge with economic development has been the length of time it takes from conception to fruition for the different projects that we have going. Anything can go wrong, and sometimes it does, and we have to be ready to assist our developers and our contractors that are coming into the village to help us to improve from an economic standpoint of view. Community affairs, the biggest challenges is doing what's best for the community as opposed to the individual, for the community as opposed to the individual. We get a number of requests from individuals that want this particular thing done at their particular house, but we always have to look at it from a community perspective and do what's best for the community as opposed to the individual. Next slide, please. I'm trying to run through these because I don't want to keep you longer than you have to be here. Looking ahead, we're looking at the completion of current and future development. You heard about Body and Mind. You know about Dunkin' Donuts. Mayor Curry is going to talk in depth about the Equestrian University. These are 3 game changers for the village of Lynwood that we're looking forward to. New community and organizational programming and collaboration. I've been happy to work with the Chamber. Dornita Tyler is here. The Lynwood Chamber of Commerce. They have already had several different programs throughout this year. They're planning several more programs, not only this year, but next year. We're going to be advocating for them and working with them. One of the programs that they have coming up is the SDA program, that stands for the Southland Development Authority. That's going to happen on December 4th at Preferred Windows and Doors. So if you are a business owner and you need assistance with access to capital, legal assistance, marketing support, to name a few, that's going to happen on December 4th, and we strongly encourage you to be there. I met with a young lady at our last meeting so that we can have some home ownership incentives and opportunities in the village of Lynwood, not only for existing homeowners, but also for new homeowners. So I'm looking forward to providing that. Also, as I mentioned very early on in my tenure, I'd like to get off the ground a community quality of life plan. I've dubbed that plan the Life Plan for Lynwood, Lynwood Initiative for Excellence. We're looking forward to initiating that plan, hopefully before our next season comes up. But if we're able to do that, that's going to take some money, and we have to prioritize things in the village, and that's why it hasn't taken place yet. But if that gets off the ground, that will be extremely beneficial for our village. Our expectations is to increase community engagement. You heard Clerk Bond talk about the voter engagement and voter participation. We really want to increase that. We want to establish Lynwood as a South suburban destination location. And we're looking forward to benefiting from the new airport that's going to be coming in close to Peatone. Benefiting in a number of ways, where not only our residents can have employment opportunities, but also so that our businesses can be able to participate in the wealth building, if you will, that's going to take place when that happens. That's all I have for right now. I will be here to take questions right after the mayor. I want to thank you, and I want you to always remember that we are always better together. Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for the mayor of the village of Lynwood, Miss Jada Curry. She pointed me and she said, I forgot the D. It's Mayor Jada D. Curry. Give her a really big round of applause.
Good evening, everyone. I am going to try to get through these slides really fast so we can get to your questions. You've heard from all of our departments. I just have a few things I want to highlight with you tonight. So, are you able to pull that thing? Greetings, Village of Lynwood. 2023 has been nothing short of phenomenal. We've worked hard, we played hard, we've made some new hires, we have repaved roads, we've brought in new businesses. The village continues to grow, as you can see, with all of the new construction homes that are being built around us. Things are really headed in the right direction. While I am excited and have been planning for 2024, I wanted us to take a minute to look back at 2023.
As we take a moment to look back on this past year, Lynwood has achieved remarkable milestones. The village secured an impressive $1.7 million in grant money, earmarked for critical projects such as water valve replacements, municipal facility improvements, and repaving of our streets. This administration's commitment to alleviating Lynwood's debt and securing its financial future has been unwavering. Mayor Curry took the stage in Springfield, testifying tirelessly to ensure that the local government distributive funds, LGDF, rightly return to our village. Lynwood recognizes the importance of economic development, and we eagerly await the exciting progress of the forthcoming Dunkin' Donuts and the Body and Mind Dispensary, both poised to contribute to our community's growth and prosperity. The first of its kind Equestrian University is ready to break ground, and a brand new Pride Car Wash is also set for construction. Transparency and communication have been at the forefront of our governance. Every board meeting is now accessible on YouTube. Our website is regularly updated, and we've implemented email and text blast to keep our residents well informed about the latest events and developments. We're delighted to have the incredibly talented Bianca Kidd as our executive assistant. Alongside her, we welcome new public works superintendents, Sam Garcia and Dan Lieberter, to our dedicated team. The appointment of LaShawn Austin as the new Chief Public Safety Administrator, and the well-qualified Greg Thomas as the new Chief of Police demonstrates our commitment to enhancing community safety. Over the past year, Lynwood has been the backdrop for some incredible community events, with Lynvinia and Lynwood Fest standing out as resounding successes. These events showcase the unity and vibrancy of our community. As we reflect on a year of tremendous progress and success, we eagerly anticipate the opportunities and achievements that 2024 holds for the wonderful village of Lynwood.
So, come on, IT. It's my brother-in-law, y'all. So in 2023, it was the year of possibility. You've heard from the department heads and the other elected officials. We've been focusing on continuing to create a sense of community, funding village initiatives. We have this quest for our very own zip code, which I'll talk more about. You've heard our engineers and our superintendents talk about these road repairs. You've heard Kim talk about our finances, and we've continued to focus on paying off debt. We will continue to focus on paying off debt. We have a huge emphasis on economic development. You've heard a little bit about it. I'll share a couple of more things. We are pushing out more communication via our YouTube channel, Nixle, the website, and through Village Hall. We have been training our staff. You've heard Chief Thomas talk about this. We've been doing it throughout every department, and we've made some key new hires. Something that I'm very proud of that you heard, you want to make it a slideshow? So that make it a slideshow so everybody can see it. Something that I'm very proud of that you guys heard a little bit about and they addressed in the video is grant funding. While we continue to seek out ways to increase revenue, one thing that we do know is that if we can get, come on IT, if we can secure grants for the village of Lynwood, that also allows us to do more for this village. So with the lovely help of Miss Sheila Edwards, who we like to call the original Sheila E., she has been helping the village with writing grants. I am proud to say that we have secured several grants. I'll walk through just a few. We've secured a $150,000 grant for a feasibility study that Robinson Engineering is helping us with. And with this feasibility study, we will be looking at ways to add more sidewalks and streets and other modes of transportation throughout the village. Once we're done with the feasibility grant, we will submit it to the county, and then we'll seek out funding to actually fund those projects. We were awarded a $250,000 grant. State Rep Marcus Evans assisted us with this. And this money, once deposited, will help us with making some improvements to our municipal properties. We were awarded a $350,000 grant, and that is the grant that will allow us to assist our water department with getting some of the materials that they desperately need, primarily water valves. You heard Dave Schilling talk about the CDBG grant. We are excited. We didn't get the max amount, but we got a nice amount, which helped us fund the road projects that you saw. And we've submitted for CDBG funding for next year so that we can continue to do more road projects. I am thrilled to say that Lynwood was one of 5 communities that was selected for a climate resiliency grant. This grant is going to allow us to address some issues with flooding around the village. We'll be looking at green spaces, water flow, air quality improvement. That is a multi-million-dollar grant. Once again, we were one of 5 communities in Cook County that was selected. That's huge, 1 of 5 in Cook County. And then I get this phone call because the county is so pleased with the work that we're doing, and they tell us, hey, we want to throw some more money your way. So actually tomorrow I'll be meeting with the Build Up Cook team. They have millions of dollars that they are going to invest in the village of Lynwood, and these millions, yes. So these are dollars that are left over from ARPA funds that the county is still holding. And these funds will be used for our municipal properties. We are looking at building a new municipal campus. So that is something that is on the table depending on available funding. If not, they're going to come through, they're walking through every building that we own. They're looking at our roofs, they're looking at our floors, they're looking at our parking lots. They're looking at our bathrooms. They're making sure we're ADA compliant, and anywhere that they can offer some financial assistance to get these upgrades done. They're looking at every single building, every single park, every single parking lot, every single lighting structure in the village of Lynwood, and they are going to give us money to fund that. That's huge for us. I talked a little bit about the zip code. Listen, I know, I see your head nodding, yes. Lynwood needs its own zip code. Right now, we share zip code with 4 other communities, and we are uniquely different from those other communities. Not better, we're just uniquely different from them. And so we had a group of college students who actually came together and did a case study for us, of which I was able to submit to Congresswoman Kelly's office, which led to a meeting with Congresswoman Kelly's staff both here and in Washington, D.C. We then turned around and met with the United States Postal Service. Our request has been submitted. We talked about things like the difference in the home values and how sharing the zip code impacts our car insurance rates. And when businesses are looking at Lynwood, they can't look at Lynwood because they're doing zip code searches. So they're looking at us as 5 communities when we're just one uniquely different community. And so we presented all this information. I was promised a response by September 15th. Things move a little slow with United States Postal Service. And so I just reached out for an update on Monday. I am waiting. I am going to keep fighting because we will get our own zip code, ladies and gentlemen. I think the guys touched on beautification. I wanted to just share this slide with you because this is the house on Torrance. I heard you all, when I first came in the office, somebody actually flagged me down on the street and said, please tear this house down. I've been here 20 years. I've been wanting to see this house torn down as well. But as you can see, demolition has begun on this house. We just spoke to the group today, Brian did, and they promised us that the crew will be back out tomorrow. By the time they're done with this piece of land, you'll be able to see straight through to the beautiful subdivision that sits behind this ugly house. When you make these types of requests, please know, I hear you, we hear you, it takes time. This request came to me when I first came into office, so that's almost 3 years ago, and we're just getting it done. But my promise is we'll get it done, and we're getting it done. Coming up in 2024, we have a lot of things that I'm proud about. The L building is in the process of being restored. We're going to do some gut work inside. We have some major electrical work that we need to do. Hopefully one of these grants will help fund this project. But once that building is restored, and this is the building that sits right behind Village Hall, we will have a focus on youth programs, senior programs, and it will also be an event space, a really nice event space that residents can rent out for your family reunions, family dinners, family gatherings. So I am calling 2024 the year that we will reach our full potential. In 2024, we will focus on more road repairs, more businesses. We have a logistics facility coming, a green cemetery, a storage facility. Listen, I don't care what happens, I'm going to get this new municipal campus, and it is going to happen for this village, and I am committed to securing these dollars before the end of this first term because we need it. We are going to focus on park improvements. We're going to continue to leverage our county, state, and federal partners. I'll continue to fight the good fight. I will continue to go down to Springfield and testify in Lincolnwood to raise my voice and say, hey, listen to what's going on in Lynwood. I will sit on as many boards. Right now I'm on the executive board for South Suburban Mayors and Managers. I'm the vice president for the Southland Mayoral Black Caucus. And I don't sit on these boards because I enjoy sitting on these boards. I sit on these boards because it gives Lynwood a voice. So let me tell you what I'm not taking into 2024. Negativity. So I'm not taking your gossip, your judging, your negativity, your complaining, your excuses, your lying, your dogmatism. I'm not taking that into 2024. I'm not interested in the social media keyboard killers. They have a lot to say on Facebook and next door neighborhood, but when they make these comments, you should respond and say, but have you called the mayor? Have you emailed the mayor? Have you scheduled an appointment with the mayor? Because the answer is no. They're not interested in solutions. And so I am not interested in those comments. So please don't screenshot it and send it to me because I don't want to see it. That's not what I'm focused on. I'm focused on making Lynwood something amazing and doing something really beautiful for you all as well as me. Also coming up in 2024, I'm really excited about this for our veterans. We're going to present the statue at our Veterans Luncheon, and we're going to install it for Memorial Day next year. And I want to thank Trustee Dunlap. She found an individual who created this statue for a fallen soldier free of charge. It is already built. He's going to install it for us at no cost, all because he loves Trustee Dunlap, he loves the Village of Lynwood, and he loves veterans. We're jamming, y'all. Listen. If you don't know, you better ask somebody. We have a lot of really good things happening in Lynwood. So I was at the library and I was talking to Brian, and he said, let me show you this rendering. This amphitheater is coming to Lynwood in 2024. It is going to be right behind the library, and it is going to seat roughly 250 to 300 individuals. If you were at Country Club Hills back when they had seating and then the lawn area, this is an exact replica. This is where Linvinia will be. This is where our movie nights will be. The library will be hosting events. Others will come to Lynwood, because I see you back there, Cosette, because I know how you like those good concerts. And Tammy. But listen, this is coming to Lynwood, y'all. We are doing some great things here. We have been working with a company called The Retail Coach. Lynwood does not have an economic development person, so there's no one who's solely focused on it. That kind of falls on myself and the good Trustee Blakey, but we reached out to the Retail Coach after attending a workshop with them, and so they have been helping us with creating a plan to make us look more desirable to retailers. And so they did a comprehensive study, they gathered data, and so if a developer comes in or a retailer comes in and says, tell me about Lynwood, all we have to do is say, click on that link.
Not again.
Here we go again, y'all. Hopefully it works. This link will take them to our website. And on this website, that's not working right now. That's okay, go back to, here we go. You will see it slowly popping in. You'll see images of the Village of Lynwood. There's demographic data, talks about phone traffic, cell phone studies, foot traffic, transportation, vehicle traffic, anything that a retailer would want to know and would better understand why they should choose Lynwood is now all on this link. The link is going to be on our website, and we also have packets that we're able to hand out to them. So this is what we're sharing with individuals like Ace Hardware, who is currently looking for land in Lynwood, and Subway, who's currently looking for land in Lynwood, and Burger King, who's currently looking for land in Lynwood, and McDonald's, who's currently looking for land in Lynwood. Every day we out here hustling for Lynwood. So, to the PowerPoint. While they're bringing back up the PowerPoint, the next slide you should see is the car wash. You heard them mention the car wash. I'm excited about this car wash, particularly because I don't know if you guys realize, but we have a fleet of vehicles, we have a contract, but we have to go all the way to Cherville on Indianapolis Boulevard just to get our car washes. So police officers have to drive out of town, go over to get a car wash, and come back in town. Next year, we will have our own state-of-the-art luxury car wash where our fleets will get washed, but you also will be able to go and wash and dry, and it's not just that little one thing attached to the car wash. This is the big car wash that you see out in South Holland and Indiana, coming to Lynwood in 2024. This Equestrian University, you guys have heard us talk about it. It's been moving slow, but now it's picking up speed. They have been submitting for their permits and zoning. I'm so excited about this project because I need you all to understand what's coming to Lynwood. So I want to play this video for you all. Not another one, yes. Cross our fingers and pray that it plays. Yeah. that is coming to Lynwood in 2024. And that is pretty spectacular because as President Preckwinkle said, there's nothing like this in the Southland. And so as we continue to focus on making Lynwood a destination town, and while I try to balance that out with respecting the small town feel of our village and doing things that make sense, we are building something special here. Mr. Curry rolls over at 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm on email working. This is why. I don't really take vacations. This is why. Because we are building something special here. I am going to continue to work hard. These elected officials and department heads are going to continue to work hard, not just for you, but for us. I live here too. I've raised my kids here as well. But join me on this journey to make Lynwood something special. Thank you all. And so now, I'm sure some of you have to leave, but if you have questions, we're here. We will answer your questions. There's a middle microphone. You can walk up to it. If you have to leave, make sure you grab your coupon on the way out. Lindsay Onis has a special coupon if you want to take advantage of ordering dinner. Questions? Nobody? Okay, here she comes. While she's walking up, thank you, former trustee McKinley Dillingham. I see you. Thank you for being here. Question?
Can you hear me?
No.
You got to step up to the mic.
Yeah. There you go.
My question is, it is.
The mic on?
Can you hear me now?
Keep on. Just speak up. Go ahead, speak up. Okay.
So my question is, I like all of the things that you were doing. I thought you were going to be bringing in, and I'm not sure, it was a supermarket at one time. Is that still on the board, or how is that going?
Yeah, so we had sweet potato patch that we were in talks with coming to the village of Lynwood. They had a more immediate need, so they selected an existing building where they wouldn't have to build from the ground up. I can tell you that Retail Coach is also having conversations with a couple of grocery store chains. That's our #1 priority, is to bring food into the village. And so before anything else, I would love to have a grocery store here. So we continue to look. There are a lot of grocery store chains that are just not building right now because it's too expensive and because they have stores that are so close to us. But we have been having those conversations. We shifted our focus a little bit towards more boutique grocery stores with the hopes that that might land us something quicker than a Jewel or a Pete's, which we'd love to have.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I had a question. I know that you covered the zip code. Is that going to be long coming because your car insurance rates and certain things that you apply for, they go by the zip code and they always associate with Chicago Heights. And sometimes I don't know what goes on in Chicago Heights or how they look at it, but it really boosts up your premium.
Yes, ma'am. So unfortunately, we have no control over how long the process takes, but what we can say is we have started the process. And we are being very aggressive with our Congresswoman's office as well as the United States Postal Service. But we are at their mercy in terms of a timeline because it requires some partnership from Congress as well as the United States Postal Service.
Okay, I remember from the last meeting, there was something about cannabis.
Yes, ma'am.
Being erected, is that off the table? Not that I use it, but
Let me repeat her question.
They had a lady here that was talking about how it was gonna do so good. And there was a bill here, and then you were saying it was come to so many jobs. So that's why I was asking.
Yes, you're looking for a job.
But who made the decision about Dunkin' Donuts? I mean, I feel certain businesses, maybe certain things are put on ballots for the people to vote for. Do we want this here? Do we want that there? Or that was just a decision that was made by somebody? I just feel sometimes when you're getting ready to do something, even just to get the input of the people that live in Lynwood, would you rather have this, would you rather have that, is somebody or is a child work on that?
Sure. So her question is regarding cannabis, Dunkin' Donuts, and having a voice. So I'll start with cannabis. The young lady that spoke last year actually just left. The dispensary is coming. It's right on the corner of Lynwood Dyer Road. The building is up. They are moving pretty fast, and they are hoping to be open by February. It is going to create jobs. They are starting with a Lynwood job fair because they want to focus on hiring Lynwood residents first. But if you look on the southeast corner, you'll see the building right there. In terms of Dunkin' Donuts, I don't know if you're a Starbucks girl or what you have against Dunkin'. I'm a Starbucks girl, I get it. But you know, what we do is we look at opportunities, right? And so when a retailer is interested in coming into the village, they go before our zoning board. We want to make sure that it makes sense for the location and it makes sense for the community. There are several opportunities for residents to have a voice. We discuss these things openly in our board meetings. So I encourage you, if you don't come to board meetings, at least watch them. And if you have a question or a concern, give me a call or shoot me an email. Yes, ma'am.
Yep, come close to the mic.
My question is, and concern is, the traffic on 198 and the stop sign. I stand there with my grandkids and they're just going directly through the stop sign. The speed bumps, will they be closer to the stop signs? Because sometimes I see the police cruising come past and they wave, and sometimes they go around, the cars go around the bus stop. And I stand there with my grandkids and I'm like, okay, they just ran right through the stop sign. And it's constantly on 198 in Orchard or Crescent, constantly going back and forth. So would there be some type of change or something we could look for, the speed bumps for the stop sign? Because there's a lot of kids around.
So I think I'm gonna try to tackle this for both of you guys. You wanna, Sam or Danny, you wanna talk about the speed bumps?
So with the speed bumps, it's hard on our major roads because they have to be so many feet from an intersection and so many feet from driveways. So we can't put it, obviously 198 is lined with driveways. By code, and Dave can probably expand a little more, we cannot put it within a certain amount of feet of people's driveways. So that limits us in our spacing. Right now, where they are, we measured everything, and that's only the places we can put them at the present moment.
But you say driveways, right?
Yeah, the driveways and intersections. They got.
Okay.
And there's a certain feet that you want to be from an intersection with your speed bump because you don't want to create a more dangerous condition of someone who loses control towards that intersection.
I just think that's a little bit more safety for the kids, and the school buses is a big concern. My grandkids have been going to school for 2 years now at Nathan Hill, and it's been a constant for 2 years that they are riding straight through these stop signs on 190. And just for not only grandkids, if I go across the street, they're not really paying attention. They're studying what across the stop sign.
I'm gonna have PD address that.
Well, I'm glad you said that. So this meeting is about immediate adjustment, immediate reaction. So moving forward, if you can let us know about this by calling our non-emergency number or emailing us, but I can assure you that starting tomorrow, we'll have traffic detail on 198th Street before school hours, right after school hours. We'll see that us address that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Coming this way, that way, and we're trying to get out. It's terrible.
So,
It really is.
and we're aware, listen, we're addressing speeding and stop signs all throughout the village. And we are aware that that is a legitimate issue. I live here, I see it myself. PD could share some stats with you where they could show you that there has been an increase in the amount of traffic stops from our officers for that very reason, and the details that they've put out. In terms of the area where you're thinking, that requires partnership with the state. The state would have to make that decision. So there are a lot of behind the scenes things that you guys don't realize that would have to take place, but we know. We're working on it. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm concerned about the water bill. So I noticed that it increased by like $60 on my side. And I know they did an actual reading, but I'm really concerned because Lansing they paid $5.28 for every 1,000 gallons. Chicago Heights paid $8.50 for every 1,000 gallons, and we're about to go up to $10.20 for our, 1,000 gallon, and I'm trying to figure out where does the increase come in at? Like, are we filtering our water or something extra, or we taking out contaminants and that's why we're paying higher than Chicago Heights? Or I know Lansing, the water comes in from Hammond to Lansing, and then it comes in to us through, and then goes through Chicago Heights and the other little villages. But why is there a significant increase? Why are we going up to $10 for every 1,000 gallon? And that's, my concern. This water bill, this new water bill, is really getting huge, for an extra $60 a month. I mean, $60 extra payment. So it has really, really gone up. So I would like to establish I wanted to talk to the water lady, Crystal Johnson, but she's not here. But, okay, yeah. So, yeah, if I could talk to you about this water bill, I don't know. I don't understand the increase.
Well, let me share with you. I personally mailed a letter to every home in the village of Lynwood explaining the increase, right? And we have copies of the letter. We're not increasing your water rate because we want to. We're increasing your water rate because what we're being charged increased. Lansing came in, met with us, and told us where we are and where we're going. Every municipality is increasing their water rate. If it hasn't happened yet, trust me, it's happening. Even in that letter, I put in a couple of examples to show you where some of the other municipalities, and that was just data that I had readily available to me. But it's strictly based on an increase in the rate that we're being charged.
Yeah, I know that some of those communities on there, they're paying $11, but I don't understand why, because once it comes from Hammond to Lansing, why does Lansing get to pay $5? And then Chicago Heights get to pay $8, and then we're paying $10, they're paying $11. There's a water drain in our system. There's, there's one tube that it flows through, this 36-foot tube that is running from Lansing. So I don't understand, are we filtering our water? Are we doing something different, softening the water? What? Why is our increase so much more than Chicago Heights or Lansing?
So
why does Lansing get to start at $5? They just voted in $5.24, and them residents went crazy over that water increase. So they would really go crazy if they had to pay the $10 that we're paying for every 1,000 gallons.
So I'm gonna respond one more time, and then we'll do a sidebar, okay? But one thing you need to know is Lansing and Chicago Heights are suppliers of water to most of these municipalities. So they're the ones that are setting the rates for us. We don't control what they increase their rate to. It's no different than we as residents don't control what ComEd's rate is and what NICOR's rate is, or how much a package of chicken costs at Jewel. We have no control over it. The only thing we can do is respond to it, and that's what we had to do.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, Mayor, trustees. I don't have a question. I just bring good news. If we have any people in here who have student loans that need to be paid off, I have information. I just got $190,000 forgiven. I'll pass the information to you and they can contact you.
All right. After Ms. Ora will take 2 more questions, and then we'll wrap up, and then we'll stick around for any other questions. Come on, Ms. Ora.
I don't have a question. To me right now, and I've been a resident of Lynwood for a long time, this is like a fairy tale. The before and happy ever after. We did not have, for those of you who have lived here, we did not have any retail, and to talk about a statue and that we, the residents, don't have to pay for, that is humongous. At some point, I love the collaboration with Fritz K. I think it's just wonderful. Yes. And I'm hearing all of these things, and I told you, when you became mayor, and you know me and several other advocates were coming religiously to village board meetings. And some people said, well, you don't come anymore. I don't need to come anymore. That's all I'm going to say is keep doing what you're doing. Thank you.
Last one.
Just a quick comment. The ladies at the library told me I better let the administration know this. They told me to tell you that you're doing a fantastic job. Keep it up. We are all proud of you. I'm proud of you. I've been here since '95. Thank you so much. To God be the glory.
Yeah. Thank you all. Please stick around and ask questions to these department heads and elected officials. We appreciate you. Oh, and thank you to our attorney, Dan Boyle, who always keeps us out of trouble.